Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name's Rebecca and today we're having a bit of a catch up along with some current reads. So today I have decided that I need to do a sit down video with you all, literally sit down video with you all with my new work desk chair. So I thought it was about time we did a catch up and go through some of the things I'm currently reading, actively currently reading, not including Priory, because we know on this channel that is a lifelong current read. I thought we would go through sort of some of the things that have been going on sort of outside of the bookish world for myself and why I've been gone. So where do we start? Basically, let's put these down there first. I lost my reading mojo. I lost my filming mojo, so I had all of these ideas and plans in my head for some reading like projects. So I've done reading like Leanne, and I was in the middle of doing a reading like Taylor from May Between the Pages, and I was really enjoying it. I'd read Every Heart a Doorway, I'd started Jade City, and I was making good progress in that, and then I just kind of stopped, and I don't really know why. I don't really know how to put this. The general issue I've been having is that I just don't want to pick up a book. Or I've been feeling like I don't want to pick up a book. This is going to be all over the place, but let's wind it back a little bit. So, started a new job in the middle of April. I forgot to mute my phone. Great. It's okay, it's just a marketing text. I thought I was popular for a second. Anyway, it started out as being sort of one role and they offered me a different one. So my world kind of was like, amazing. So I started that on the 12th of April. It is now coming up to like the 10th of May. So once I got everything set up with that job, I was in it about a week before everything was fully set up. Since then, it's just skyrocketed. I've been very busy from the minute I start work to the minute I finish work. I've been low-key stressed, but not like overly stressed. I'm stressed to the point that I know that it's work related. I know how to easily manage it. It's not a big deal. But then throw in the idea of moving house. Things just go up a notch. We found out from family that there was a house coming up in the area that I grew up in. It was something coming for sale. The lady in it had moved to a retirement home and sadly passed away in that retirement home. So the family were basically clearing out this house and had said, obviously, to the family members that we found out from, look, we're putting up for sale, do you know anyone that would be interested? And straight away they were like, we think we know someone who would be, because this is the type of house that, how do I put this without ruining too much privacy? Basically, this is the ideal house for us in terms of location, in terms of space, because for all the rooms are slightly smaller as the spare rooms, the main rooms that we'd be using, so the living room and our bedroom are huge. And the kitchen, yes, we're compromising in having a smaller kitchen, but I personally think after living in this house for 5 years, our kitchen is too big. I still didn't mute my phone, that's my reminder notification. Anyway, moving on. This house is basically in a much better location in terms of family for both sides, because obviously it's in the area I grew up, my parents still live in that area. It's down from a shop, it's up from a pub. Basically it ticks all of our boxes. It has a garage, it has its own private drive, which is something that we feel we really needed. So we were thinking about this house and we were like, yeah, we want to do it, but we know that there's a lot of work to be done. Let's get our house valued and see where we stand. So it turns out we stand in a very, very good position for selling our home. So we had it valued, and on the same day the guy was like, look, we normally, in the past, we used to get professional photographers to do all this stuff, but we now have the gear to do it ourselves. I'll go get my tripod out the car and my camera, and you know, we'll take some professional photos for you and list the house. And I was like, look, I have a tripod and a camera upstairs, do you want to use mine? But he legally, you know, they can't do that. He was like, I did notice the tripod and the ring light in that room, and I had the ring light on because I was supposed to be doing meetings all day, so I had the ring light on for my own sort of meetings, so I could look as pale as this in real life. But yeah, we ended up listing the house the following day, and the day after that we had a couple of viewings. So basically things are moving very, very fast, and prior to the guy coming out and valuing our house, we needed to get it in order. I mean, this is just chaos. This is just a mess. It's a tidier mess than what it was, but everywhere around the house is a lot tidier. It feels a lot better. We are scared to do anything in the house in case we make a mess, but that's a good thing because, you know, I'm not the tidiest of people. Case in point. Anyway, so yeah, that kind of meant that reading took a backseat. I felt bad if I wasn't tidying or working, or, you know, we were watching shows to unwind and stuff like that, and watching films and stuff and spending time with each other, getting way too invested in TV shows, and my reading just left the building. Since tidying up, my other half has put Jade City somewhere and I haven't got a clue where it is. I kind of think I know where it is, but I need to go and double check that position before I can even mention it. So yeah, I decided to start some other things. So my life has been pretty at the minute, but I am in the middle of 3 books. The first one is Shards of Earth by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is his latest release. It's due out on May the 27th. It's currently May the 9th and I'm on page 26. Great. So, in this one, not a lot has happened so far. If you're a sci-fi fan, Adrian Tchaikovsky is my go-to guy for any recommendation for sci-fi. Not a lot has happened in this one. It's been that long since I picked it up, I can't remember what it's about. Okay, so this one is set 8 years into the future, post-Earth basically destroyed by an alien enemy. Because why wouldn't it be? So this is set 8 years into the future after Earth is destroyed, and we follow Idris, whose mind has been changed from fighting war and fighting aliens and fighting the enemy. His mind has just sort of been reset, and he hasn't aged, apparently. One of humanity's heroes now scrapes by in a freelance salvage vessel to avoid the attention of greater powers. So I get the impression that Idris is this kick-ass kind of guy who did his time fighting the war, trying to win the war, killing lots of aliens, and now he just wants to live in peace. And I'm guessing that's not going to happen because we're 80 years into the future. He hasn't aged a lot. He's hiding out on a vessel because he doesn't want to be spotted by the higher-uppers. Many escaped, millions died, and mankind created enhanced humans such as Idris, who could communicate mind to mind with our aggressors. Then these architects simply disappeared and Idris and his kind became obsolete. Now Idris and his crew have something strange abandoned in space. It's clearly the work of the architects, but are they really returning, and if so, why? So Idris and his crew race across the galaxy as they search for answers, coming up against gangsters, cults and governments. This basically sounds like it's going to be a whale of a spacey ride. From the past books that I've read by Adrian Tchaikovsky, I know that it's going to completely confused me for a good chunk of the book, but I am really hoping that I'm going to get into it soon because it's out on May the 27th and it's quite a long book. It's over 500 pages, so I'm hoping to get to it soon. Next up we have a thriller, so stepping away from sci-fi, we have a thriller that is The Puppet Show by M.W. Craven. This is an author that has been thrown in my face by Vanessa so many times. She's like, I love this author. Their work is second to none. You need to read it, particularly because I liked a certain other person's pseudonym works and we don't support them. So I needed an alternative to get my fix of a kick-ass main character and a side character who was just absolutely adorable, and this is what I'm getting. So The Puppet Show follows a detective called Washington Poe. He is, at the start of this book, a disgraced detective who is called back into work because a murder victim has been found with his name inscribed on his stomach. Naturally, he is not the killer. As far as I'm aware, he's not the killer. Like, he's denied it, but that's what the killer would do. Anyway, he's brought back into work to kind of work on this, find out how he is connected and why. And along the way, we come across a couple of people who really don't agree with the fact that he is back working, and also some that really do. And then we have Tilly, and Tilly is his sidekick, his second in command pretty much in terms of friendship. They form a friendship whilst investigating this serial killer. They're just so lovely together. I love their dynamic relationship, and this was one of the things that Vanessa said that I would probably really like, and it's true. I love their relationship so much. They deserve so much more, so much more of a friendship development than what I'm getting at the moment. I'm currently 146 pages in and I'm more invested in Tilly and Poe's friendship development than I am in the actual story. However, the story is still really interesting because we're still trying to find out how Washington Poe is connected to this murder, and we're also still trying to find out who the murderer is, why they're doing this, and why they've done the previous killings that they have done. All in all, while victims keep appearing. So I'm really, really enjoying this. This is definitely an alternative to the Cormoran Strike series. If you did like that but don't want to support that author, I do not blame you. This is a perfect alternative. I would highly, highly recommend. And I'm not even halfway through yet, and I'm screaming it from the rooftops. This is amazing so far. I am loving it. And finally, I'm currently reading A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is going to reflect a little bit on the ring light, isn't it? Brilliant. So this one I'm reading for A Court-a-thon with Vanessa from Wanderness. Again, I will leave her link down below and the link to the first live show. So A Court-a-thon takes place across the whole of May. God's sake, you can tell I'm out of practice. This takes place across the whole of May. We're reading A Court of Thorns and Roses for the full length of the month. Our next live show is the 15th or 16th of May. We have not decided that yet. And it will be discussing everything up until page 198, because that is the point that we kind of agree is about the midway point, and you know, we're midway through the month at that point. So in our first reading sprints, we discussed what we thought this book was going to be about. I'm still very much blind, don't know what's going to happen. I have some theories. If you want to see my full theories, you can go back and watch that video. It is about 2.5 to 3 hours long. However, we talk about our theories pretty much right from the start, and then we get into reading. So if you do want to read along with us, we are reading up until page 198 and chatting about it on the weekend of the 15th and 16th of May, just to kind of see how we're feeling and continuing with the book itself. And hopefully we will follow on in the coming months with the sequels, because I stupidly went and bought it. But I'm really, really enjoying this so far. This follows Feyre. We had this discussion about saying her name, and apparently it is Feyre. This follows Feyre, who is a young girl living with her father and 2 sisters, when she kills a wolf that just happens to be Fae. And naturally, the Fae aren't happy, so they whisk her away. And that's about as far as I know, and that's about can tell is happening, because that's where I'm up to. So I'm currently on page 75 of this one, the start of chapter 8, and I really need to sit down and read the next 120 pages of this before next weekend, because that is when our live show is going to be. And yeah, really enjoying this so far. So this was a lot longer of an update than I thought it would be. How are you all doing? I'm sorry that I haven't been around for a while. In the time that I've been away, I had hosted a giveaway, then not posted anything, then closed the giveaway, and I contacted the winner. So hopefully the winner has received their books. Fingers crossed Sam has received them. If you're watching this, let me know. I have no, well, I say I have no excuses, but it's just been hard. It's been busy. Life, grown-up stuff kind of took priority, and bookish stuff kind of sat on the side. And I do feel bad for that. However, I'm back, kind of. I have a list of videos that I want to film this afternoon, including a book haul. And some tag kind of stuff that I've seen online. I started a book talk, so I want to try and get some drafts done for that, because who else needs more things to do than me? Clearly I have too much to do already, so adding another social media platform into that is gonna be a brill experience. And yeah, if you want to see my bookish videos on Book Talk, it's under Rebecca Reed's YT for YouTube. The clue's in the name. It's literally the same as my Twitter and Instagram handle, but they are all both linked down below. So go ahead, check out my other social media channels, come say hi on other platforms. I would love to make friends. I swear I will read some more, and I will reply to comments on my other videos, because I haven't done that yet. I know, I suck. But thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you've been reading in the comments down below, and leave me a book emoji, and I shall speak to you all soon in another video. Bye!